Hey guys, it's Vince. Today in this video we're going to be discussing a problem which has plagued the micromanufacturing CNC industry since its inception, and that is, how do you get involved in CNC and begin profiting immediately with the ideas you already have, even if you've never had any experience with CAD/CAM software or motion control software, and you just instantly have these ideas. You know that you've got a viable idea. You may already own a business and you want to automate that idea. A lot of my clients come to me with that as their predicament that they're in, and that situation, you're kind of in, your hands are tied. You've got to learn the software. You've got to really take into account, it's not just then the time investment of learning the software, but then the investment of the hardware, and the hardware is sitting there and you've paid for it and you're trying to get that return on the investment. What do you do? Well, I've come up with an idea that I've had for quite some time. I've tried reaching out to different individuals. I had to find the right individual to work with, and his name is Zack. And you're going to see Zack in this 8-minute short video. It's going to be 2 parts, this video series, because actually there's a lot to cover in this. But the potential for this is virtually endless. And in this particular video, Zack is going to do an AR-10 lower assembly. Many of my gun enthusiasts can relate to this. Using Bobcad V27. Now, many of you know I've offered V28, and I love Bobcad because, again, it's based in the U.S. It's got the most powerful set of features available for the price point, but I'm about to take it to a next level. I'm about to introduce you to an entirely different concept. What if you could actually buy your equipment and have an engineer work with you directly, not only with training videos that come bundled with V28, but also work with you directly and give you your product idea drawing with toolpaths so you could produce your parts at the time you receive your equipment, pending, of course, you walk through Mach 3. And again, Mach 3 is just basic questions. There's really not much to it. The CAD/CAM software is usually the most intimidating. And if you were able to do that, your return on your investment would be virtually immediately. Okay? That is what I intend to do with these 2 packages that I'm about to release. Now, Zack is going to walk through this creation. He's just going to do a brief overview of how he created this lower assembly, or modified it, I should say. Not only did he modify the lower assembly, he also made fixtures particular for this client to do this on a repetitive basis. So what you're actually seeing here, to make sure you understand the gravity, is him create 2 separate products, essentially, for that client. The lower assembly and the fixtures can be sold, once again, if somebody wanted to do this themselves. Now, not necessarily, of course, would that client be prone to do that, but he would have that option to do that. Now, again, in the package format that I'll be going through, because I want you to watch this video. It's really cool. I think it shows the potential of what's out there with Bobcad. You certainly will not be doing this with Vectric, and Vectric will cost, when you hear the price of what I'm offering this package for, you'll do the math yourself and you'll figure it out. But when you look at the capabilities of what this software has, and mind you, he's using V27. The package I'll be offering is V28. And just so we're on the same page, because I want to make sure you guys understand the gravity of what you're getting, I'm going to zoom in here real quick so we all can see exactly what we're getting. V28 that I offer comes with base CAD, comes with mill 3 times standard, comes with mill options 3 times pro, comes with mill lathe 2-time option, nesting option, and bob art option. Guys, I'm telling you right now, there is nothing in the country in CAM software that acquires that kind of solution all in one for the price I'm offering. And at the end of this, I'm going to even be offering a personal engineer mechanically to work with you on your designs so you can begin producing money virtually instantly. Virtually instantly. Nothing like this exists in the industry. It should. So we're going to change that. And on top of that, you're going to deal with full U.S. support, which is wonderful. And again, you're dealing with a mechanical engineer in a full-scale level basis. So any questions you have, you'll be able to go to him directly and walk the walk, talk the talk, so to speak. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit play on this. We'll watch it together, and Zack's going to explain exactly what he's got going on here a little bit. And I hope you guys find it interesting. We'll talk at the end.
Hey guys, this is Zack Alexander. I'm going to be working with Vince. I'll be offering support on Bobcad. That can be with the CAD work, drawing models, or the CAM side of things, any 3D machining. So today I'm going to run through something I've done for a client. It's an AR-10 lower receiver. This is what we started with. kind of a generic model that we had got. I'm going to go through a little bit of everything, some of the different ops, some of the approaches I took, some of the tool paths, fixturing, things like that. Basically the overall process. And if you have any more questions, just get with Vince and he'll reach out to me and we can figure out anything that you need for your specific part. And again, that could be with fixturing or the drawing side of it, modeling, or the programming. So this is what we started with, kind of a generic model, and this is some changes that I had made to it to put it to his likings. You can see quite a few changes throughout the whole model. Nothing too crazy. And this is the op 2. I'm going to start on op 1 and go through that. So this is the stock that we're saying we're starting with. So basically I'm going to work around the outside of the part and rough out all that material. Do a finish pass on all of it, and I'll show you a little bit of what that looks like. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on the toolpaths themselves. Kind of give you an idea of what we're offering, you know, just the changes that I've made to this model and the whole campsite of thing, all the toolpaths and setups I'll be doing for him. Then we'll get into up here. And roughing that pocket. I'm just showing you, again, just a couple of different tool paths and kind of what we're working with. And this will definitely be easier because we do have a good chunk of material to hang on to for the first op down here. And we'll be able to wipe out, again, all of this to the final depth and finish the profile of the part and all the features that you're seeing on this side. Let me hide that. And then we'll move over to op 2. It gets a little more complicated because, again, you gotta orient everything properly and pick back up and machine everything correct in relation to op 1. So here is, again, the same model that you're seeing in the other side. And this is a set of jaws that I've designed and, again, will make for him to hold the profile from the previous operation to, again, use those 2 pins right here so you can align the lower properly and clearance in these spots to get down and machine and do all this 3D work. So again, I'll go through and unblank a couple of the tool paths so you can see the process. So this would be facing off all the extra material from operation 1 that we held on to and getting it down to that finished height on the tallest features of this side of the part. Go through, rough out some of this area, clean out those. Down in there. And again, this is everything to make it from a solid piece of stock. This is coming from billet, is what it is. And then this is an example of some 3D work to get a nice finish right there. Real small step overs, move real fast on something like this, and you can get those nice curved surfaces. But yeah, so stuff like this, we're fixturing. This is just going to be a set of jaws that go into a curved vise, but fixturing is very important, as I mentioned. And it's important to do it right the first time. Take good time to get it good and get that repeatability that you're looking for and the accuracy in the parts. So let's look over. This is something that actually hasn't been fully completed yet, but I'll show you kind of the fixturing idea and where we're started. So let's high to lower. This is my idea, again, using pins that will line up on the same two holes on the lower to orient it properly. And this idea that I've had is, it's an idea expansion clamp. So, and I have something that'll go around to fill in the trigger guard itself, and it'll expand and open and put force around this to hold it in place and to keep it nice and tight, which this will be to machine all of this, the features that we couldn't reach on the first two operations. Sinks through here, the mag well, trigger guard, for the grip, all this area right here that we need to machine, and we can get it all on the fourth axis is what this is going to be. It'll rotate around, and we can hit all of those features down in here for the buffer tube. For anybody that's familiar with firearms or AR specifically, it'll all make a little more sense to you probably. But this is just really a quick run through to let you know what we're capable of. Not really going into a whole lot of detail on this part specifically, but just to show you, and again, like on this side, let me show you some of the 3D work. So kind of the same as Op 2, I mean, the other side, and it's just shows you what we're capable of doing. I mean, making this thing from billets. There's a lot of machining here and a lot of salt that has to go into the process that you take and your approach and everything. And again, fixturing, like on the other two ops that I just went through, there's a lot that goes into that. So we're going to be able to offer support for that. It's basically where I'm coming into the picture. Offer support for anything in Bobcad really. You can get with Vint, and then he'll get with me, and we'll work it out, and we'll make it work for you. Whether you mean to do it all, or just help guide you through it, or get you started on it, whatever it is that makes it easier for you, or that you're interested in, then we can take care of that for you. So reach out to Vince if you have any questions for me, and he'll get with me, and we'll get it all figured out. Thank you.
Okay, guys, I think the video pretty much sums it all up. I mean, if you look here, these are all the machining operations that he had to do to complete this and the actual fixtures. You can definitely see there's a lot of time here. Matter of fact, between all three actual components, the two fixtures and the lower, it took about 75 hours of programming time to get to this level. Okay? If you could have a company do it, and you can do prototyping for you, you're looking at least $10,000 to $15,000 minus the software. Okay, that's not including price of software. You're looking at him doing this. It probably was about $4K, which that's unheard of, including the geometry for both parts. That's amazing to do that kind of work with that level of detail. Again, dealing with actually fourth axis geometry and dealing with three-dimensional geometry, going through the whole part from revision 1, doing the prototype to make sure everything's copacetic, and going from there. And that's why, once again, I wanted to find the right person. And when I've spoken to Zack, and we've talked a lot, and we've thrown ideas together, and I wanted him to understand the passion that I have for making you guys successful. I want everybody who wants to get involved in CNC to be able to hit the ground running with their ideas, and give them an option to start a business for themselves, however small or however large and crazy the idea that they think they may have. They're going to have an out now to begin starting the machining process. And if you can afford the equipment and you can afford the software, just to give you guys a heads up on what this package will run. And this is why I'm running this special, because again, there's nothing like this, and I wanted to really take this to the next level. I'm going to offer it in two formats because there's a variety of different ways we could do this. We can do a two-dimensional 10-hour training course where he will cover basic 2 dimensions inside of Bobcad, where he'll cover all the 2-dimensional features. And he will also then give you 10 hours of actual 2-dimensional part design with toolpath generation, which means essentially, guys, all you're going to do is load it into your Mach 3 motion control software, and you're ready to machine. Okay? With Bobcad V28 and all the features that you see here, okay? Let me just zoom in again. We'll discuss it real quick. You're going to get base CAD, V28 mill 3 times standard, mill 3 times pro, lathe, nesting, and bob art. Nesting allows you to do grouping of parts so that you guys, if you're doing more than one part and you want the software to calculate, which is most beneficial to calculate part production on the surface area that you're working with on your machine, it will calculate the proper distance so you can be the most profitable. That being said, what you are looking at with the 10 hours of two-dimensional training time and the 10 hours of actual two-dimensional part design, which means if you give him an idea, you give him the dimensions, you give him your napkin drawing, he will design it and give you 10 hours included on top of the 10-hour two-dimensional training time. Price with the software, $1,800, guys. $1,800. That is unheard of. And I'm telling you that, I'm so excited. I don't even know where to go with that, because most of you guys out there that are looking at that, if you just break down the options of this software, okay, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 options in just the software plus the 2 additional training. And I'm throwing in, of course, the training videos from Bobcad. So those you can watch in your own time, but they're still not as intuitive as having someone work with you directly. And the beauty of that, when I say directly, guys, I'm talking about remote desktop support. Zack is in Texas, so remote desktop support through TeamViewer, so he's there with you on your system, and you guys go over the design. It's $1,800 for a two-dimensional part. Once again, 10 hours of training in the two-dimensional format of all the features Bobcad, and then 10 hours of actual part design and toolpath generation you will get included with this software package. If you want three-dimensional software, in the sense of doing three-dimensional option with the software, we will do that for $2,400. That still includes the price of the software. You will be getting 10 hours of full instructional three-dimensional design. And that means all the 3D features. He'll step up to introducing you to the options with 3D. And then on top of that, he will give you 10 hours of three-dimensional part design, including toolpath generation. Now, of course, this opens a lot of variables. If your part requires 30 hours of part production, you're going to get 10 hours automatically included. So you're only going to have 20 extra hours to go with. Now, as far as that goes, we will go through and acclimate each price based on the amount of time that you require to complete the job. And the easiest way to do that is contact me. I will then forward all the information to Zack so we can make sure we touch base. We know what kind of timeline we're looking at for your part. Everybody's timeline is different. I know that. When it comes to engineering, it's kind of crazy. But overall, between revisions, timelines of what you're looking at, you can then basically pick and choose as far as how long, or I should say how short you want to wait to go into production. Okay? Zack's time is very valuable. He still works a full-time job, once again in full-scale manufacturing, 3, 4, 5-axis machines. So again, nothing is really frightening to him. The big thing here is that everybody's time has to mesh. That's the beauty of doing freelance work. Everybody wins because you guys aren't paying retail prices. And on top of that, I'm offering, like I said, this. I already know this service doesn't exist. If this would have existed years ago when I first got into this, it would have streamlined my whole process. If you guys break down just actual part design and factoring in the actual time it takes to do a revision 1 prototype, everything it takes to do the drawings, learn the software to that level. Maybe you understand the software somewhat, but you don't understand it in full 3-dimensional spectrum as well as 2-dimensional spectrum. This can be a huge time saver. Let me paint you another picture. Let's say you bought the equipment already to do the machining. You could have one part being machined, even if it's under 10 hours. Maybe you have 2 small parts that are under 10 hours just to start putting some money on the table. And at that point, when you start generating an income, you could just contact Zack again and say, hey, I want to build another product. And while you're still learning the software, it's better than any college course you will ever get. You are literally getting paid to learn. This is the way it should be done. And this is the way that I hope we see more CNC automation going with this industry, because this is where I feel the future should be. Small businesses becoming empowered not to go into debt, but reverse the debt strategy to where, hey, I've got an idea. I've got the ability to hire somebody who has the skill set that I require to understand that idea and the true gravity of how to project that idea from digital reality to physical reality to where I can start generating profit with my equipment as soon as possible. Not only are they learning the trade and getting involved in that business model and that mindset, but they're also able to go and hit the ground running and begin producing immediately. The next stage of this video will be the next video, and I'll follow up with the simulation of Zack actually cutting the part. Now, Bobcad has a simulator. You guys saw what he was able to do with this between the fixtures and the actual component itself. Like I said, you're not going to do this with Vectric. SolidWorks you can do it with. You're not going to get an engineer with SolidWorks. It ain't going to happen. Not anywhere near close to what we're talking about here. You're not going to get that with Fusion 360. And again, full US support, full remote desktop support, and we're talking 20 hours, regardless of what actual version you want to go with, 2-dimension or 3-dimension. You could start with 2-dimension, just like I said, to start making money. It's cheaper. Once you start making money, we could step you up to having Zack work with you on 3-dimensional part design or work with you just on 3-dimensional training. Whatever you guys need to become successful is what we want to do. We are geared towards making you successful, you and your business model. Right now, if you look at full-scale business operations in CAD/CAM, I can tell you right now, Bobcad sends a newsletter out. And again, being they're based in the U.S., they'll fly somebody to your business or wherever that may be. If you're a small business, this probably ain't going to pertain to you. But for larger scale businesses, think about this. They usually charge between $8,000 to $12,000 to perform an in-house training session, and it might be with 4 to 5 people. Okay, you have to fly the actual client or representative out there. Once they're flown out there, they sit with them, they go through everything. He is not going to engineer anything for you. He's simply going to go through the training perspective of the CAD/CAM software. Okay, that may be beneficial, it may not be. We could do the same thing remotely, save you about, or make you pay maybe a third of that price, maybe even, even at the worst, you're looking at maybe 10 to 15 hours of actual additional training, only because of the convolution you'll have with him there trying to understand your idea. That's about it. But when you figure you're looking at an 8 to 10K differential in far as flying someone out and dealing with all that hassle of going back and forth and having everybody right there. If you have a team viewer, we can go in, have 5 to 6 people on the same computer wherever you are, and do this programming so that you guys are all on the same page and able to go and do what you need to do. I mean, that to me makes the most sense, and it's something to really, really think about as you guys go moving forward. This has a lot of opportunity. And now that, again, I'm offering in-house support for this, once again, look at Fusion 360, look at SolidWorks, look at Autodesk, compare all of the prices, factor in the price of an engineer working with you. That's the one key point. Factor in that price of personalized training, personalized G-code production, personalized modeling of actual services based on your requirement, and you will soon see it's unheard of in this industry. And again, whatever your idea is, I don't want there to be limitation, and that's once again why I love Bobcad. You've got 2-dimensional design, 3-dimensional design, all in one piece of software. Simulator is full-scale simulation, just like you get in a full-scale machine, and that is so important to make sure that your designs come out as they're projected. If you guys need prototyping, where you want us to run a prototype, we can discuss options for that as well, so that you know exactly what design you're getting with the prototype to make sure everything follows suit with where you guys are going with your business model. That to me means a lot more than you guys, like I said, shooting yourself in the foot, spending the money and hoping to get there in that regard, because right now there's such a hit and miss in this market where guys are buying equipment, I see it done every day, and then they're stuck with the equipment until they can learn the software to start generating money with it. That is ridiculous. This way, you're able to start making money virtually the same time. If it's a simple part within 10 hours, boom, you're making money. You want to have him generate the part while he's training you, you can have him do that as well. I mean, that's the beauty of this. You'll be able to afford it. You'll be able to start making money on it. If it's an idea that's something you want to go with as far as you can generate profit immediately, this is something that cannot be overlooked. I mean, there's nothing, like I said, like this. And again, it makes a lot of sense. I've actually had a lot of clients ask me if there was a service like this, that I know someone that could do drawings. There's many people I know that can do drawings. I can do drawings myself. I don't personally have time, number one. Number two, I want someone dedicated to making these drawings to your specs, and that's all they do, because anybody who's ever done this understands how tedious this can be when we're dealing with tight tolerances. Why I had him show you an AR-10 lower assembly is because all of you gun enthusiasts out there and anybody out there just looking to get into machining will realize very closely that the tolerance on this have to be dead nuts on, or you're in trouble, guys. We're talking lethal trouble. So again, the firearm, the only reason I brought that up was because you can see now what you're capable of doing. Once again, this is V27 that he's actually using. Matter of fact, it's not on here, but it is V27 he's using. You guys will be getting V28, full commercial version. If I have clients out there or potential clients that want to step up to 5-axis software, I can get that as well. I get that question a lot. 5-axis software, guys, is going to be in excess of like $7K. Okay, I'm just telling you guys that so you're all on the same page for Bobcad. It's very expensive because they know what you can do with it. So just keep that in mind. The more the software costs, the more variety you're going to have as far as what ideas you can do. But looking at this lower assembly, it gives you a really good idea of what you can do with just a 4th axis, and a lot of this is not even a 4th axis. A lot of it is, just standard 3-axis. It depends on where you're going. Okay, it depends on where you're going and what products you want to go with. But overall, this once again eliminates the learning curve. I'm taking the learning curve out of it, and if you factor in your ROI on your investment, you will be able to make money instantly. Take it into account, like I said, if you have 10 hours of training with part design, and he does 2 parts, and you could start generating $10, $15 a shot while you're actually, I'm just saying on the low side, 10, 15. Most of the time, if it's out of aluminum, you could be doing minimum 25, 30 bucks a shot on each part, and you've already got a business model going. I have a lot of clients that do bracketry and specialized components. You'll be making money while you're working with him. He can keep the actual product line going until you're up to speed with the software or feel comfortable going with him, and literally earn as you learn. So again, I hope this video has enlightened you. I'm going to post the actual simulator for this on the next video, and I feel that it'll really take you guys to that next level, so to speak, of seeing how a prototype is done, how he actually tests the design and goes through, runs the simulator to see if everything is copacetic, so to speak, as far as how he's going to go through and do the machining process. If there's any variables that he wants to change, he can do that. Again, V28, Bobcad in general, is professional engineering software. I cannot emphasize that enough. It does have a longer learning curve, but that being said, the capability is virtually endless. It's going to be based on your knowledge, and if it's not based on your knowledge, what you want to invest, because I can promise you right now, if you invest in your machine and you invest in the products and you already know there's a market for it, you're going to make money, guys. China's been doing it forever. You can reverse engineer anything that doesn't have a patent, and it's that simple. So another key point, a very important key point about Bobcad, is it can use STL files. For all my guys out there using 3D printers, you know how important that is. Okay, you can take an STL file and import it directly into Bobcad. Okay, you can then go through that actual file, make any revisions you want to make, and start machining it. That is amazing. Okay, direct importation. You got questions? Get with Zack. You got questions on the engineering. Can I change this? Can I manipulate this? Maybe I need, pockets here. I need to change the roughing pattern here. You can go in there and do that deliberately and save yourself a boatload of time. You'll pay a little money on the back end, but you'll make a lot more money saving the time than paying a prototyping company to go through that hassle, and you guys will be ready to make money virtually instantly. So again, the learning curve, I'm trying to eliminate as much as possible, and I want to get you guys on an earning curve. Screw the learning curve. Let's start getting on the earning curve and take you guys to the next level. So again, I hope this video has been helpful. Once again, 2-dimensional part design, 2-dimensional training, 10 hours of each, 10 hours of part design, 10 hours of two-dimensional training, and we're looking at 1,800 including Bobcad V28 with all the features set. You want to go three-dimensional part design, that's 10 hours of three-dimensional part design, or actually three-dimensional training, and also three-dimensional part design for 10 hours on that as well. You'll get 20 hours total, 10 hours part design, 10 hours of training. You're looking at $2,400. These are specials. I'm only offering 5 of these packages currently. Okay, that's what I'm offering right now. If I find more interest in this, I might run it longer. I might make it permanent. I just have to see exactly what's going to, if any variables come up, because now we're coming into peak season. I wanted to offer you guys the biggest bang for your buck, and honest to God, this is crazy bang for your buck. I mean, this literally puts you guys in the driver's seat. If you have an idea, and you have an idea, whether it's two-dimensional or three-dimensional, for your business model or to support an existing business model, any business owner cannot afford to miss this, because honestly, it's amazing. I mean, it's such a low investment, and like I said, if you break down the software itself, as far as what's included, you're basically paying about $200 a part. And when I say a part, if you broke down every part of this software, you're basically paying $200 for it. There are never any service fees, unlike the other ones. You're not paying monthly. There's none of this BS cloud crap where you're going to load your files in the cloud and hope to God that they don't disappear, or that you go in the next day and something's not corrupt. You own the disks, you own your files, and you're ready to produce and make money. So once again, guys, I hope this video has been informative. I'm going to post the simulator right after this, and you'll have part 2 to watch the simulator process of this part for the client. And this would follow the same projection that would happen with you if you guys want to move forward with this. Once again, if you have any ideas and you want to forward them to me and say, Vin, I've got this different idea. I want to have this done. Can we do this? Message me. I guarantee we can put together a plan, and we'll move it into action so that, once again, you guys are earning and not learning. Again, to contact me, please message me at storm2313@gmail.com. You can also message me on my eDealers Direct store on eBay. I'll put those links down below. And again, all my subscribers, I love you guys. You guys are the support, the heart, the soul. I want this to be as easy as possible for any of my new guys coming into this. Anybody who wants to get more advanced training, maybe has ideas, maybe is okay at doing some things, maybe looking at transitioning software. I want this to open up new doors for you, and I feel it will. This is well within virtually everybody's budget. I mean, even if you took a loan out on $1,800, you're only looking at maybe $25 a month on a charge. $25 to $30 a month, you'll instantly be making money within, like I said, 10 hours. If you have small parts, you could be making money virtually instantly. So again, the idea, the concept, it's definitely going to help you out. I know it will. Think about it. Take your time. If you guys have questions, message me. There is no cookie cutter anything. So every idea you have, it's viable. Just message me. We'll do our best to get back with you. I am getting busier with peak season. But again, I hope you guys found this interesting. Stay tuned for the next video. Thank you all. Take care.